welcome to a very sunny part 3 of the campaign series. We're back down at the lake and it's an absolutely beautiful morning. I got here last night just after work and I've got probably today and tonight as well, hopefully, maybe even all day tomorrow, depending on how things go. It's looking really lovely here today. The weather recently, it's not great as fishing weather. We've got sky high air pressure at like 139 or something like that. Easterly winds, beautiful clear bright sun, so lovely to be out but not great for fishing. And the past few weeks for me fishing wise have been a bit up and down. They've been all over the place really, if I'm honest. There's been a lot of really short day sessions and popping down after work for a quick night, that kind of thing. I haven't really been able to get my teeth stuck in properly. I have had a bit of a result. Sorry, an absolute unit just launched out behind the camera. Sorry about that. But yeah, sorry, so where was I? Yeah, I have had some success. I had a lovely fish, just over 30 pounds, which I've got some footage of and we'll talk about in a little while, which was a real high to have my first 30 out of here. But then it equaled with some lows. I lost an absolute unit the other day. I was set up in one of the swims. I'd seen a few fish around there. It was really weird. I hadn't fished that swim before and I just had the day and I hadn't seen loads, so after a while I just thought I'll have a lead around, get used to the swim, see what's out there, just for future reference more than anything. I thought, well, as I'm here I'll learn a bit about the lake. So I had a lead around and I'd put some bait out and loads of disturbance, flicked the rod back out and within like 30 minutes it just melted off. And I picked up into it and it just felt real deep, and then it just went on this run that I just haven't had a fish go on a run like it in years. Just slow, but I just couldn't do anything with it. I was just back winding and back winding. I think I've got some footage of it because I had the camera on, and it just went like 100, 120 yards, just kept slowly just plodding. I just couldn't do anything, couldn't stop it, couldn't turn it. And I was like, hey, well, we're in here, we've got a real unit on the go. I was thinking, God, it just felt so heavy. I was getting a sore arm, a real sign that, you know, you think you've got a chunk on the go. And I was bringing it back in and bringing it, and it's just nothing. There was no weed, nothing out there, and everything was going fine. And then just came loose in my hands and reeled back in, and just the hook had come out. So yeah, it hadn't gone a lunge or anything. It just hook pulled. So whether I'd foul hooked it maybe, and that's why it felt so big. And sometimes when you foul hook them you can get a bit of a weird fight, but yeah, I haven't had a fish do that to me in years, go like that, so I was just so gutted. Because at that point I hadn't had one of the fish over 30 pounds in here, and there's, you know, the big one had come out the day before, so I'm pretty sure it wasn't that one, obviously. So yeah, you will never know. But so yeah, then the very next session, oh yeah, that was it. The rest of that session was a nightmare. I hooked 2 ducks. I was trying to fish close in on one of the other rods, and the ducks kept diving on me, and I hooked 2 of them, and it's just chaos really. It's just one of those sessions where everything goes wrong. So I came back down the next session, set up in a swim called the Long Swim on the left hand side of the lake. I'd seen loads of fish showing out there when I first got here, and I pinged the rods out and then kind of stopped. I didn't really see a lot, and then just on dark they started showing dead opposite me on the far side of the lake, and I was humming and hawing about should I move. But yeah, a couple they just kept showing. I thought, oh, sod it, I'll just reel in. Packed up all my stuff, went all the way around the other side of the lake, set back up to these showing fish, and yeah, at 3 in the morning it ripped off, and I had that beautiful mirror that we've got some footage of now that hopefully I can show you now. Alright guys, so here we go. Quick work overnight and we've had an absolute result. Just had a really nice mirror, 32 pounds 7 ounces made up. It's a really cool looking fish. Yeah, a bit buzzing really, because I'll explain all about it later. I had a quick move just before dark, and it's absolutely paid off. Let's see if we can lift her up for you. She's a bit lively. Yeah. How about that? Not bad for just a quick night before work. Basically casting to where I'd seen some fish show. I was set up on the other side of the lake and these fish kept showing. I just couldn't resist them any longer, so I packed up just before dark, moved around, pinged the rods out, scattered about 30 baits around them, and yeah, it's about 3 in the morning, it's just absolutely ripped off. Oh. Right, let's spin around and see the other side. Absolutely made up after losing that fish the other day. I was really gutted because it felt a really good fish. So for them, for the very next session, to have one over 30 pounds, yeah, that's really made up for it. My first 30 from this new lake during the campaign. It's been good so far, but it's a proper battle scarred odd thing, this. There we go. What a unit. Hopefully that's coming alright in the night shots. Oh, brilliant. Right, I'll slip her back, get the rods back out, and see if we've got time for another one before I have to pack up and get to work. So yeah, that was the right result. And then we had another couple of short sessions after that. The lake's been fishing really moody anyway. Some sessions people are, you know, picking up a few fish, and then other days it'll go a couple of days and hardly do a fish. So it's been a bit of a pain. I had a couple of blank sessions, as I say, and now we're back down here. The spring ticket will be finishing soon. I think I am going to go for the full ticket. It's not been too busy yet, which was my main worry, and had some nice fish, so I think I'm probably going to stand here and carry on these videos, so hopefully you're liking them. So yeah, this session I'm tucked up in a little quiet corner. I got here last night, as I say, but I wasn't really expecting anything last night at all, and not really this morning, because the reason why I've set up here is because it's a nice quiet corner. Today's forecast will be really bright, sunny, hot, not much wind, although we've got a bit of a trickle of wind at the moment. So I set up right in the where the wind's blowing down. It's a nice quiet bay, loads of pads, like loads of cabbagey things growing up. It's really clear, and I thought bound to get in here in numbers today, especially with this wind trickling down here. Being a quiet corner on a busy lake, I should be able to do a bit of floater fishing for them if they get up on the surface. So I thought I'd get in this swim last night and secure it for today. Had a tench through the night, and I also had another one where it just pulled up tight. So it might have been another tench or something, or a tower, or I might have got done. But yeah, so I've just set up in this corner for the day. I haven't got down here yet, but it is only, you wouldn't be able to tell how bright it is, but it's only like 7 o'clock in the morning at the moment. So I think they will get down here when the sun really gets up in the sky. So fingers crossed we'll have something to show you soon. At the moment I am fishing a bit differently. I'm fishing the washing line on one of my rods, so I might go into a bit of detail about that later on. For those of you that don't know what that is, it just fits this situation that I'm in at the moment quite well. As I say, if they get up on the surface, we'll fish from on top and hopefully get some footage of them cruising around. So fingers crossed we'll have a fish to show you soon, and yeah, we'll see you in a little while. Right, so today's been a bit of disaster, if truth be told. It really hasn't gone my way at all. I said that I was going to be set up in that corner waiting for the fish to come in, and they never really turned up. It was just the odd fish, 1 or 2 coming in, not the numbers that I was expecting to come in when the sun got up. Just, let's say, like one solitary fish at a time, and they weren't like up for it. They were just coming in and just laying there. As you can see, that one's just sunning itself in the corner. So I gave it till about lunchtime and they still hadn't turned up, and I thought, well, they've got to have gone somewhere else. So I reeled in and thought I'd go for a walk up the bank, and I went about 4 swims up the bank, which is slightly around the corner to some trees, so I can't see from where I was, and there was just so many fish. I mean, like 50, 60 fish on the surface, just laying there, and I flicked out some mixes and they just started Pac-Manning them straight away. So I was like, right, we're in here. I was running back to the swim, packed up hastily, got on my gear there, got back and they were still there, and flicked out some more floaters and they started taking them. I thought, right, we've got a real chance. So I kept the floaters going out there, and I thought, I'll be really quiet, you know, just keep them going out and get them really confident. and they were starting to take them. Like, a lot of fish were starting to take them, not just one or two. So I started to get my rod ready, and then a couple of people turned up. You know, they're well within their rights to do it. You know, it's a busy club water, and they dropped in the swim next to me and just started straight away pinging out controller floats to quite near where I was, but where the floaters had drifted to. And while I was still setting my rod up, they had one, and that kind of backed the fish out. They never really got on it again properly after that. So yeah, it was a bit frustrating really, but I'm not having a pop at them. You know, they're well within their rights to set up next to me. You know, it's one of them things, so you just gotta grin and bear it on busy waters, you know. So I gave it another half an hour or so, but I couldn't really get them going again properly. So I reeled in, gone for a little walk around again, and I'm now in a quiet corner, which is called Point Bay. The wind's slowly trickling down in here, it's spun round a bit. There was a few fish in here, so I flicked out some floaters. They were taking one or two, but they weren't really that keen, so I gave up on that after a little while, and I've just flicked the rods out to the margin for the evening. I've got one on a white spice wafter with a handful of BFM and krill around it, just tucked in under a tree, and the other one is just underhand flicked to my right, and that's on a little black tiger nut drilled out with some cork and a little yellow plastic corn topper. And then around it I've just put literally a handful of corn and tigers, sorry, around that one. It's just like a real little, almost like a stalking little spot. But the fish were around here and tight in this corner, so I thought I'd give it a go, try and make as least disturbance, and hopefully they'll drift back in this evening. So yeah, that's the update so far. Things haven't really gone to plan, but I always said these videos were going to be the ups and downs, and when I'm not catching as well, so warts and all kind of thing. And this session and the last few sessions, other than that 30 the other day, have been a bit like that. I just can't really seem to get going at the moment. I've got all the enthusiasm and energy, and I'm getting out there a lot. I can't seem to quite make it happen for me, so there we go. Hopefully things will pick up again soon. Still got tonight, so the fish are slowly drifting back through one at a time. So I think there might be a chance, maybe first light kind of time in the morning down this margin, or as the sun gets up first thing, because the morning sunshine should hit this bay quite nicely. So fingers crossed we'll have a fish to show you soon. If not, we'll talk to you in the morning. Alright, good morning. We're now in the fourth swim of the session. Nothing really occurred in that bay last night. The fish kind of drifted out and they never really came back. This morning, like I thought they might do, there's nothing down that margin where I had the rods, so I reeled in, went for a little walk up the bank, and there was a couple of fish hanging around near where I was floater fishing the other day, and the weather was due to pick up again. It's really windy at the moment, so sorry about the sound, but yeah, the wind's really picked up, the sun's coming out again, so I think they'll probably hang around the same kind of area. So I've moved around there and I've flicked out a couple of adjustable zigs, one yellow and one black, just to see if we can nick a bite, because with this wind, floater fishing is probably going to be a complete no-go. Fish just showing just near close in, but yeah, sorry, maybe lose my train of thought. Yeah, just put out a couple of adjustable zigs around here, because the fish are obviously here and they're cruising around, but with this wind I don't think floater fishing is going to be an option, so I put a couple of adjustable zigs just under the surface. Hopefully with the fish hanging around here we'll be able to nick a bite that way. So I feel we deserve a fish now. I feel like I've worked pretty hard this session, so this is my fourth swim, and I may even move again in 2 nights, so yeah, it's just not really working out too well at the moment for me. The fish are just moving around a lot and they're grouping up. I think they're really close to spawning. One of the big fish came out a couple of days ago, and that was 3 pound up on what it was a couple of weeks ago, so they're really stacking on the weight. It was looking really full, so I don't think it's long until they're going to spawn, so it'd be nice to nick a fish now before they do, because they'll be at a real good weight, but we'll see how it goes. We've got the rest of the day anyway, so fingers crossed that we'll have a fish to show you soon. That's alright. Right, here we go. I was only talking about getting the zigs out in that swim, and I lost one on a zig, and then a few fish started showing a couple of swims down, so I reeled in, swapped back over to the bottom, and I flicked them back out, and within a quarter of an hour it's ripped off. got £32 mirror, absolutely stunning fish, completely made up after what's been a really hard session. To finally get some reward is the right result. So see if we can hold her up for you, see if she'll behave. There we go. How about that? What an absolute beast. What a beaut. Stunning fish. Full of spawn. I think they're far away from going. It's a real solid fish. I'll spin around, try the other side. But yeah, as I say, I just saw it show. Flicked out single saffron cream, Nutribait's Collab pop-up. I've been doing quite well on from here. Yeah, just a single, and it's absolutely melted off, ripped out of the rest. I had to launch down onto it. But yeah, made up. Okay. It's behaving so far. Oh. There you go. £32 stunning Norfolk mirror. What a way to end the session. Right, we'll slip it back, and I think that'll be time to pack up. Alright, so that was a bit of a result, but I've just looked back through the pictures and realised it's the same fish that I had the other night. Unbelievable really, the amount of fish in here and the amount of 30s that are now out in here. I was playing it, there's a guy in my swim and I was saying to him, I said, I don't know, his scales look familiar, they look quite similar, and didn't really click that it actually was the same fish. There we go, that's how it goes, repeat capture, but it's nice to get some daytime pictures. They look a lot nicer than the night ones the other week. Caught from the complete opposite end of the lake from where I had it before. Caught just in the margin. As I say, I was fishing zigs, a couple of swims down, and saw a fish show close in to my left, so I only had an hour or two left, so swapped back over to the bottom, pinged out a single bright pink pop-up, and one of the saffron cream ones from Nutribait's. I just underarm flicked it out and just had it there, and I stood there chatting to one of the lads as he was walking around, and it absolutely melted off the rod, launched out of the rest. I had to dive forward and grab the rod. Yeah, it was really awesome, especially after the last couple of days where I think it's now 5 swims I've fished in 2 days, and a lot of moving. I fished on the top, I fished zigs, I fished on the bottom. Yeah, I feel like I've really earned that capture, and it's slightly frustrating that it's a repeat capture, bearing in mind that I've only had like 5 fish out of here now since I've started. To already have a repeat is a bit of a pain, but there we go. It's an absolutely stunning fish. I've flicked the rods back out. I say rods, just one rod. I saw a few fish show slightly longer from where I just had that fish, so I've just pinged another single 8 to it. I really haven't got long left. I'm just letting my stuff dry, and then I'll pack away, and that'll be the end. So unless we have anything else, that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching once again. It's been a bit up and down this session. The last couple of sessions have been a bit all over the place, what would work and what not, but yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it still. Check out some of my other videos on the rest of the channel. There's plenty of review videos going up there quite regularly now, and we'll see you in the next video if we don't have anything before the end.